newsrooms now have to make a decision about whether or not they debunk rumors. Newsrooms didn't used to do that, but now, because of the rise of misinformation, they have to make decisions about what to report on and what to ignore. And there's real challenges here, because if there's a rumor, but it's only circulating amongst a small community or low level numbers of people have seen it, if the likes of CNN or BBC debunk it, they're actually giving that rumor huge oxygen. And so trying to figure out this tipping point, which is like, when do you report, is really important. Because actually we've seen evidence that if rumors are left to themselves and you don't have the likes of a CNN or a BBC or a WHO step in, then the rumor travels so quickly that actually it's very difficult to debunk, because by that stage, people have seen it multiple times. It's kind of lodged in their brain. So by the time they see the debunk, they're like, are you sure? I've seen a number of people talk about it, and it's much harder to dislodge. So this issue of the tipping point is actually really important. And there are 5 kind of things to measure to try and understand whether the tipping point has been passed. The first one is, how much engagement is it getting? Like, for example, use CrowdTangle Link Checker, which is a browser extension that allows you to put a URL in and to see how much engagement a particular website or a link is getting. That kind of engagement question is really important. You might also, if you're using CrowdTangle or NewsWhip or some of these other types of tools, some of them are paid for, some of them are hard to get access to, but if you do have them, look at the prediction graph. Is this something that you're actually seeing take off, or is it something that's kind of plateauing? Like, really think about whether or not you think this is something that's going to go viral. Secondly, is it moving from one community to another? So often we see, well, hang on, it's in a certain sector of kind of mums groups, but actually it's staying there. We don't necessarily think it's moving very fast. We're just going to sit on this and monitor. The third thing that you want to look for is this jumping platform? So it starts on Facebook, but all of a sudden you see it on Instagram, you see it on WhatsApp, you see it on YouTube. Then you might say, well, hang on, this is moving at speed and we actually now have to do something to slow it down. Number 4, have you seen an influencer sharing it? So it might be a celebrity or it might be a politician, but somebody with a huge audience, if they share a link or a rumor, then that's a reason to kind of step in and try and slow that rumor down. And finally, is there a mainstream news site that's propagating this? So unfortunately, sometimes we see news media make mistakes, or we see them debunking, but debunking in a way that's confusing. So again, if you've got a newsroom with a large audience that started to talk about this, that's another reason why you want to slow this down. So the concept of the tipping point is the most important first step. Should you report in the first place? And this is a balance between public interest versus amplification. And that's something that kind of every newsroom or even every family group, you have to make your own decision.